Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic. Amputees of Reddit, is sleeping on your side more or less comfortable now? Why? I dated a congenital left arm amputee, meaning he was born without his arm, and it was really convenient because his arm wouldn't fall asleep when we spooned in bed because there was none. Edit, cheers for the amputees and gold/silver. To clarify some of the questions blowing up my inbox, I referred to it as an amputation because he's missing a limb. It's the easiest way to have everyone know what I mean. It's technically a birth defect, not an amputation. When I commented, nobody had really contributed anything relevant and I thought my story was acceptable. Less comfortable. Sleeping on my side just feels weird. Also, the metal from the amputation hits my face and makes it very cold. Definitely more comfortable for me, there's nothing in the way. Mom's an amputee, lost it at 39, it's been 15 years since, she was a side sleeper, and says she can't sleep on the side with her amputation because it hurts too much. As for sleeping in the other side, it feels weird because her amputated arm just hangs. She forces herself to sleep on her back but never feels rested. I don't have an amputated arm but a paralyzed one and felt like you might be interested in my story as well. My left arm is permanently paralyzed due to an accident 3 years ago. Sleeping with it sucks because when laying on my left side my arm just feels like a foreign object that's poking in my side. Also, as you might, or not, imagine, turning during sleep is awkward as my left arm doesn't just come along, so I have to pick my left arm up in order to turn over. I mostly just lay on my back as any other position is just awkward. I have thought of amputating my arm but have not done it as I feel an arm in a sling will attract less looks as no arm at all. Fun fact, sometimes my right arm falls asleep when I sleep, so I wake up with two arms that can't function. Freaked me out the first time it happened, I'm used to it now. Not an amputee, but a rehab doc who has treated hundreds, if not thousands, of amputees. Amputation of a limb is so much more than the absence of a limb. Almost all amputees have some degree of residual limb pain, obviously varying in severity. When you transect a limb, scar tissue forms, bony overgrowth occurs, and nerves form often painful structures known as neuromas. These issues impact their lives in many aspects. Quality of sleep is a huge problem for many as nerve pain tends to be worse at night. The media depiction where your arm is cut off and now it's basically the same thing but shorter is totally fiction. Very few people are better off after an amputation than they were before. Limb amputation is a chronic disease which negatively impacts people in a lot of ways. I often do pre-amputation counseling and it's amazing how many people falsely believe that their lives will be drastically improved after an elective amputation. As good as our newest prosthetic devices are, nothing beats your native limb if it's still functional. Elective amputation rarely solves the patient's problem, especially if it's pain. Edit, removed got spoiler oops. Deleted. Probably the most original question here in years. Anyone who wonders where on earth this question came from has likely never been a devoted side sleeper who has woken up many a night in agonizing nerve pain from the arm under your body. I'm amazed at this question. Edit. Even more amazed at the puns down below. Hopefully there was no harm done to the amputees with all of these puns. I have this weird feeling that the people with the fewest arms sleep the best. I lost my left arm at the shoulder in 2011. Sleeping on my left side is great, and weird. My phantom limb hangs down through the bed. Trying to sleep on my right side sucks because now my phantom limb makes it seem like I'm holding my arm up in the air. Also, if you've lost an arm, how do you wash the armpit of the arm you still have? I have the feeling OP is seriously considering amputation for sleeping purposes. Not an arm amputee nor do I sleep on my side, but I have a dog who still has all of his limbs. Hope that answered your question. I mean, your arm can't fall asleep / __. Changelog, removed /. According to some research, sleeping on the right side allows your spine to take its natural position, which is thus more comfortable. However, sleeping on the left, which may also straighten your spine, it was unclear, can constrict your organs depending on their placement, but allow greater blood flow. The left side is also recommended for pregnancy, and sleeping with a pillow between your legs on either side is recommended. Sleeping on your back will take stress off of your organs and lungs but can weigh down other areas, and sleeping on your stomach can help with acid reflux. Phantom pain. It really is a thing to think about and makes Metal Gear Solid, or in the case MGSV, stand out despite its flaws. One of the themes that MGSV touches on is loss, identity and limbs. Only one way to find out. ITT, 2 amputees, 2 friends of amputees, a lot of musing. I lie on the amputated side to use my phone, then I get sick of lying on that side and roll over to sleep. When I was a new amputee with lots of phantom limb sensation, it was a total mind trip to lie on that side and feel like that arm was going through the bed. My dad says it's much more comfortable now since I don't have to worry about an arm falling asleep on me. At first it took some getting used to. His arm was amputated from the armpit down. Oh, I bet they can spoon like a motherfucker. Don't have to figure out where to stick that other arm. Extremely comfortable. What if you could just take off your arms and legs and sleep as a nugget? No flipping over every 5 minutes because your arm or leg decides to focus on that nub of blanket that's poking out. Then when you wake up you can crawl to your limbs and they would reattach and you're good to go. The biggest downside for people who have had an arm amputated is the inability to pet 2 ducks at the same time. Hello. Just wanted to thank all those people for their great answers as well as everyone else that was commenting. This is my highest upvoted post ever, it's whack. Please don't put me on award speech edits, thanks. But now I finally know if sleeping without an arm is more comfortable or not. Are you high? Elmeo, this is like a question that pops into my head when I see someone missing an arm, but I feel like it would be rude to ask. Not an arm amputee, but I had my tits removed and stomach sleeping is so much easier. Not me, but I asked a friend who lost his arm and ear in a terrorist attack in Israel and he said less as the pressure on his arm is worse and he gets ghost pains when he lays on it. Also he doesn't have a prosthetic. Please up this post. Those who are amputee and have no prosthetics. I make 3D printed prosthetics for free as part of Enable non-profit chapter. My ex sleeps on the side opposite of her amputated arm. When we were together she would wake up at night freaking out because she couldn't feel her arm, which was amputated, think ghost limbs, and then get depressed. She said her arm felt like it had just fallen asleep and she had no real feeling there. When the realization hit that her arm had been amputated a year prior, it gets rough. She changed her sleeping habits so that her amputated side wasn't beneath her. We still hang out on occasion and she's feeling much more confident than she did when we were together. Not an amputee but was born without my left forearm. Much prefer sleeping on my left side and cuddling my BF is great on the left side as I don't have to worry about the awkwardness of where to put my arm while I'm laying my head on his chest. It's alright, I guess. More, less arm. A very specific cue. Let's see if we can get some arm amputees in here. I'll just see these on YouTube. On the flip side, if you only have one leg, there is much more legroom for the source has one leg. More comfortable. Because I'm not laying on my arm. Lost my right arm at the shoulder in a motorcycle wreck just about 6 years ago. You definitely want to be in my right in planes, buses, movies and at dinner. You get more room and both and rests. Score. To answer the ops question, as is usual in life, the answer is, it depends. Sometimes laying on my stump causes my phantom arm pains to get bad. Sometimes it's no big deal. If the day was stress-filled or the weather sucks, my phantom pain increases and that could lead to me not laying on my stump. This is a question I never knew I had. More. I have no hamstring, so I can pull my stump up as high as I want. Or flail it out beside me. Edit, I'm a leg amputee who can't read, apparently. Anyone else curious to see an answer to this question but didn't want to read through all of that text for a simple yes or no? Double hi-fi damn. I think there should be armholes in mattresses. Okay, not an amputee, but I do have a close friend. I asked him about it and he said he sleeps on the side that still has an arm. He said it's because when you put your non-existent arm through something, it hurts or just feels wrong. I thinks it's called ghost pain, or phantom pain or something, and I guess it makes sense. Wife of an amputee. Kudos to you for the question because I never thought this was a question I would see on here. Why though? He only has a handful of inches left of his left arm. When he does sleep on his left side he is never directly on his left arm. He kind of keeps it out in front of him like we would if we were to sleep with our left hand under our head. But he holds onto it with his right hand on top of it. Even though he lost his arm as a child, I can lay on what's left of his arm without causing pain when wanting to cuddle or anything, and yes, I do hold onto it or his sleeve, if it's a long sleeve, when we go for walks. However, even after just over 30 plus years the tip of the one is still rather sensitive. This is the most original Askreddit question in literal years. This thread may take longer to get popular because it will take twice as long for the Rhapsodiers to tell us their stories. This question is amazing, thank you. I never knew I wanted to know this question until now.